The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 9th day of November, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, I want to say, in the words of Jackie, it's what's it called? Hump day today.
Yes, because, it is.
Yeah. How are you doing this fine hump day?
I am doing well, and it's kind of the daily hour hump day, because when I tell you it doesn't affect me work-wise. I still got to work on Thursday. I'm not with a state company, man. So I'm still got to work on Thursday.
Hold on. We still have to work on Thursday and Friday. Yeah, quasi, not state.
Yeah.
Quasi.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's gonna be nice to I say not wake up early on Thursday and Friday, but when your body's used to what your body's used to, it's the sleepy and probably will be 6 o'clock.
Well, you know what? It is almost like a day off. Liana's funny, you guys.
I know.
Lee, I know you're tired. But Jackie said it's hump day because tomorrow is like Friday.
For us.
A holiday for us. So we're not, that's what she meant.
Bless her heart.
No,
bless her. Even I caught one, Lee.
Hold on. No, because Leanna and I heard, Sherry, because when Jackie said it this morning on Good Day Bermuda, I was in the same boat as Lee. I admit it, now that Leanna's done. I was like,
not me. I was like, yep, I got you, Jack.
I did not get it. I was like, it's Tuesday. What's the hump day? And then it hit me. So Lee, I'm a fall with you on that one, sis. I'm a fall with you on that one. But look, it is Tuesday, folks.
It is.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. Another good one today as we welcome Antonia Holder back to the show to discuss Mothers and Daughters Empowered annual tea. This should be fun. Had fun with her last time. I really love what she's doing. The daily play is a remember when, and all I'm going to say is that it is a trick question. So
like I need any trick questions, Jamal. Like seriously, this guy is out for me, I swear.
Well,
I'm gonna tell Mama Patterson.
Mama Patterson's she's my favorite. I'm her favorite now. Michelle White says, "Bye, got me mixed up too early for these kind of jokes." See, Leanna and I weren't the only one that fell for it. See, but look, folks, we have a really hot conversation that needs to be had, right? So Sherry and I, we probably text too often these days.
Yesterday was a slow day, Jamal. To be honest, it was.
It was. I think so. Until the evening. So yesterday, Bermuda, congratulations. We're going to drop an air horn for him. Big victory for the Bermuda national team, the men's young men's national team last night. They beat St. Vincent 3-0. And I was on YouTube just enjoying the back and forth between Bermudians and the St. Vincent people. It was crazy funny to me, and I almost felt like sharing like people that part, but I didn't want, I think they knew that Bermuda was going to give them a little beat down, so they were trying to distract us and all in the comments. But anyway, that's not what we're discussing. Sherry, we talked about it off air, and it's only right that we bring this conversation to the daily hour where we have conversations that should be helpful. And I'll just put the question out there, and for those who don't know, we'll give some context and background. So the question of the morning: do you believe coaches should be using foul language to get their message across to players? There were many people that sent messages. If you're in chat groups, you probably saw it. If you're on social media, people were discussing the language used by, I guess, the Bermudian coaches. I don't know who. I did catch an apology, and I don't know whose voice it was. It was a Bermudian sounding voice at the end that basically apologized for the language, saying that they didn't know that the mics would be on, and that, hey, it worked. That pretty much was the justification for it. But the question of the morning to the audience is: do you believe coaches should be using foul language to get their message across?
Wow. Let me just go ahead and jump in, because I know you got a whole lot of different perspectives and thoughts on this. I feel like it's hard as a woman and a person who's not an athlete. So let me just put that out there first. So my first instinct is nurture. Let's not, do this or hurt their feelings and different things like that. I think it's two different sides to it. It's their encouragement of language, and there's the demeaning side of the language. And it just all depends on which one it is. I also know that it all depends on if you're a good coach and your player, then that's another thing as well. So for me, it's for the coach to know who he's doing this to. And hopefully they have background of, the childhood or whatnot, and we're not continually doing some abuse to these children or to these men. Even if they're over the age of 17, 18, whatever the case may be, sometimes people emotionally are stuck in certain age groups, if you know that. And if you don't, then you should be cognizant of some of those things. Now, to me, you're apologizing because the mic was on. You're not apologizing for what you said. And then the other party is, but it worked. So it's just, that's a lot. I don't know about all of that, Jamal. I don't know about all of that. And like I said, I'm coming from being a woman and a person that's not an athlete, and be like over on the sideline cringing if that was my child.
But Sherry, I'm going to take away that because I don't want you to take away as if your opinion is less valid because you're a woman or because you're not an athlete. That doesn't make your opinion less valid. And what I mean by that, and this is an extreme example, but it's true. We didn't have to be enslaved to understand that slavery was wrong. So you don't have to be an athlete to understand that treating people in a certain manner is wrong, is my point. Now,
yes.
I'm going to go to the audience first before I really break it down from my perspective, because I'm probably going to take it somewhere where people just aren't going to see me taking it. But the question of the morning, audience, is: do you believe coaches should be using foul language to get their message across? Congratulations to the nephew of Karen Simmons, Deniche. I believe I pronounced it right,
Deniche.
And his team, under 20 team. So congrats. And she goes on to say, no, foul language is not a motivator to get their message across under any circumstances. Now, I believe she's said that she's an educator.
Yes.
I actually wanted to ask, are there any educators or social workers out there who may have an opinion from a professional's perspective? So thank you for that. And any parents in there, I'd like to hear from parents of maybe a player or two, or parents that have children that play in a similar age bracket as these young men. Nicole Walker, Sherry.
No, anyone can get their point across with using explicits, regardless of the mic being on and off. But that seems to be the way of sports. Yeah, because I was also told that to one of my friends, like, if you don't like it, take your son out of football now. And he's just in middle school. So, like, what are we putting in people's minds? Like, I don't know.
Arthur C. Phillips says no to the question, which is: do you believe coaches should be using foul language to get their message across? Sean Smith makes a valid point: know your audience. Rick Olson says most of us curse way too often, which is ugly, but it is the truth. Marquita Lee says no. Shami Richardson says nope, not necessary. Marquita Lee and Shikarina for you, Sherry.
Congratulations, young men. So proud of you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And no, but it seems to be the way in sports, military, and some fraternities. Yeah, definitely.
So let me go on that comment right there, folks. There you go. Someone said it, so it's not just me bringing it up. But let's discuss this. It wasn't long ago that many of the people I see pretty much complaining or bringing this up as something that is wrong were championing this same behavior towards young black men who were conscripted into the Bermuda Regiment. Why do I bring this up? It would be hypocritical of me to say that this is okay when I fought against being forced into an environment where this was normal and natural behavior. However, we can look at it as Donald Trump and friends said when they were talking about grab women by the you-know-whats as locker room talk. Or we can say no. It was wrong then when conscripts were forced into an environment where this was taking place. And it's wrong now. Or we can look at it and say, no, the world has evolved. We're living in a time where people need to understand that you cannot treat all people the same. You cannot coach one man how you coach another or woman. It's about treating people fairly. Now, in fairness, the coach did say it worked. But who's to say that it wouldn't have worked if he hadn't used that language?
Right.
See, coaching is not just about sports. You see coaches in different businesses and organizations. And when you see these kinds of coaches, the number one rule is to inspire, to motivate, to get people the best out of people, and to get them to do things that sometimes they don't have the self-belief to know and understand that they can do. So whether or not I agree with the language used by the coaches is neither here or there. I don't know the team and I don't know the relationship that's had. What I will say is that I think Sean Smith touched on something. And that something is one has to know their audience. And if I'm in a space that I'm not forced to be in, and I don't appreciate the language, then I will remove myself from that space.
But I didn't think you was going there, Jamal, but okay. But at the same token, it's just like, yes, know your room, know your audience. But for this, and it's going to your point. It's going to your point. Because we need to know these men, these people, these, and what works for them. That might, ignite anger and frustration. And then next thing you know, you got to fight on the field. And then you're cursing them out for doing that. But you're the person that sparked that to happen because this person's getting frustrated. Motivating, inspiring, but demeaning is two different things.
Correct.
And I feel like if you it's a fine line and it's a fine dance. You need to find what that is. But you shouldn't be demeaning anyone to do anything. And like you said, coaching all around the world as far as businesses is to inspire and to motivate. You're there on the field to inspire and motivate majority of these Black young men that are on this field.
So,
and from
but and this is because again, I didn't hear it. I'm just going off of what I'm being told. But if I have a boss or a coach and they're saying, "Come on, let's go Hartman," right? I wouldn't take that as belittling or demeaning. I'd be like, I'd probably laugh and be like, okay. But when I was in the regiment, it was always demeaning and belittling, right? So it does make a difference, folks. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the coach because I don't know who the coach was and I don't know what was said. Let me be clear about this.
Yes.
What I'm literally trying to understand is how was it stated that makes it motivation inspirational? Because someone did say on the mic that it worked versus demeaning and belittling.
Or was it that everyone heard it and like they said the mic was on and it just did not come across on the stage as something that you would want to be representing? You know what I mean?
Indeed. One thing I will say is I do wonder if these teams, especially national squads, have sports psychologists there, because that would be something that might be missing in a lot of these setups as well. A sports psychologist. Let's go back to the comments. Nicole Walker sharing.
Some people curse so much they don't even know when they do it until it's pointed out. Yep.
Yeah, my fault. No. As an educator who also coached volleyball teams and now the Duke of Edinburgh, I always say use words that encourage and not discourage. Sam Cat Play says, no, even as young athletes come up, it sets a standard and can be demeaning to the point athletes are prone to mental abuse. Well, I was waiting for someone to bring this up, like, the mental aspect. And again, this is not professional. They're not in a space where they're doing this for a living. So what is happening in home when they go home? Are they used to this language, or is this language foreign to them? There's so many different aspects. Rick Olson makes a great point. Great victory for a team that has great potential is my takeaway. And let's let the victory not be lost with this. But again, it is a valid point. Nachika Trot sharing.
With the language used during the game, was any rules or regulations broken?
I highly doubt that, Nachika. I think that this is the way of sport. Whether the way of sport is acceptable is another argument, especially at this level. But this is pretty normal in sport, I would say.
Well, I was going to say, Jamal, I mean, how many coaches are now from the NBA, NFL, and so forth being put on the carpet because of their language and their attitudes towards players and stuff like that. And we're talking about owners, not just coaches and stuff like that. So it sounds like it's something that, of course, has rippled through sports for centuries and days. I don't know if you saw the Colin Kaepernick thing on Netflix. A must see. A must see.
Well, I think that reflects more like racism and abuse from that standpoint.
Yes.
I can guarantee you every NFL coach cusses and whatever. Does that make it right? Again, folks, I'm not justifying it, but again, it's the let's go to Ramon Smith actually says whatever the relationship is between him and his team, we don't know. But when in public, on the world stage, the coaches should be aware of their language. And this is right.
I can agree.
The question again, folks, do you believe coaches should be using foul language to get their message across? Again, it's one of those things where I get the concerns. I do understand the concerns of people. I'm not going to dismiss it. I think they are extremely valid concerns. What I would be interested in knowing is, how do the parents of these players feel? That's what I would be interested in knowing. How do the parents, because some of these players are late teens, 20.
Right. And it was, again, what one of the comments was, you have to know your audience and you have to know your players. And, are you able to switch things off and switch things on depending on who you're talking to? If you know that there's a possible abuse situation or not abuse, but just something that is very hard towards this child at home, should you be putting on top of that towards this particular child? So I don't know.
Let's go through. We've got a lot of comments to go through. Quentin Stubble says this may be indicative of male versus female communicative styles and content, and with that, how males receive information versus females. Is this language effective and understood? Maybe the only difference compared to years gone by is that now mics are everywhere. This is a good point, but I will say this to you, cousin Quentin. Don't cuss and carry on to me, because I'm not going to respond well. I will cuss and carry on right back to you. That's why it didn't work out for me in the Bermuda Regiment. You're not going to belittle and demean me as a man. That doesn't. I don't respond well to that. Like, that's me. Now, if it's a difference, like I said, for me, if you're saying, "Come on, let's go Hartman," let's bleep and go Hartman, like, that's different. It's a different energy. But when you start saying, "You bleeping maggot," or this, don't do that to me. It's nah. I will treat you in the manner that you treat me in that respect. And I think that's one of the issues that we have culturally, is that we have no problem speaking to people in a certain manner, but then when people speak, respond to us in that manner, all of a sudden it's an issue. Carla John Sherry.
I still remember a particularly demeaning comment from a softball coach from 35 years ago. So those comments are not harmless. Yep. and it was from a woman coach.
Oh,
And I was gonna say, don't put nothing fat in front of me. Get your fat, get your fat.
yeah.
And that's not cursing, but it's demeaning
It's
to me.
demeaning. It's demeaning and belittling. Yeah. Asta K. Harvey says no, but the players are probably used to it. I have confronted a coach in the past one Saturday when my grandson was in the under 8. The parents were mortified. Glad to say he is much improved these days. The kids love him. And again, these are teachable moments, folks. Let me, and I wanted to wrap it up with that, but I'm going to say this. Don't be so hard on the coach that you have this underlying dislike or hate for the coach, right? These are teachable moments. And I can go back a couple of weeks ago with Carla John. I'm using her because she allowed me to use her as an example a couple of weeks ago. These are teachable moments. The coach may say, you know what? I can find better words to use to communicate with the players now that you've brought it to their attention. I don't think it's a time to dismiss the coach and act like all is over. Let's go to Kim Robinson saying, let's put this into perspective. If the mic wasn't on and you saw the players come out as they did, you would have said, I wonder what the coach said. Me personally, I'm not sensitive to this situation. And if she doesn't mind me saying, that is the parent of one of the star players.
Okay. And my thing was, though, do we have a coach that coaches the coaches? Do we have some
directors? There's levels to it. So
okay.
You have people in place. Let's wrap it up with these 3 comments before we bring Leanna in. Teresa Marie says, if a win is the sole goal, then some coaches will achieve it at all costs, including negative effects on players of intimidation and mental abuse. It's wrong. I'd like to ask some of the players how they feel about it as well. Sonia Clark says, no, this should be dissected from the perspective of cursing is negative, no matter what, low on the level of the coach. There are other terms and techniques that can be used as motivating and encouraging. Quentin Stubble says the best coaches know how to reach their players and what buttons to press. Yes. And Kristen Webb says, as a parent of an athlete, I know it happens. The balance last night was there in that throughout the second half, the coach shouted encouragement consistently. And that's a great way to wrap it up right there. Honestly, folks, I'm not in the dressing room. I can only go by what I've been told, not even what was said on the mic. The only thing I heard on the mic was at the end when I guess one of the coaches apologized for the language and said, it worked, this and that. This is maybe the encouragement they're used to. Again, was it said in a demeaning way? Was it belittling, or was it said in an encouraging way? I can go Jacob or whatever. I don't know. At the end of the day, I think we all want what's best for all of these young men. And if they're responding to it in a manner that's given them the best opportunity to be successful, then I think we should all get behind them. Can we all do better? Yes, we all can do better. Can the coaches use better language? Maybe yes, they can always do better and use better language. And again, this could be a teachable moment where they say, you know what? We heard your concerns and we will respond in a better way that helps these young men become not just better footballers, but better people. Let's bring Anna into the conversation. Morning, Lee. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I am great. And it is Tuesday.
Well, Blaine, look, Jackie got
it's
me.
Jackie.
Jackie got me this
morning. I was literally looking at my calendar. I'm like, did I miss a day? I mean, I know the clocks went back, but gosh, have I missed a whole day?
And they're both like, yeah, this says something must be wrong with me.
No, but no, in fairness, Terry didn't catch it at first as well. Folks, what happened on Good Day Bermuda, where they celebrated 100 episodes today. Congratulations. Drop a little something fun. So Jackie basically said, oh, it's hump day. And I think she confused the heck out of Terry as well. And then, like me, I'm at the 1 mile mark. I'm like, looking. I'm like, no, I know I'm tired, but it's Tuesday. But anyway, Leanna got tricked too.
Not me. I was like, I got you, Jack. I was there. I was like, yep.
I see it. I got it.
Good. Lee, you ready to deliver some good news for us?
Yeah.
Over to Leanna with the news break, folks. Just gonna try and give you something good.
I'm gonna try. Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and good morning to everyone that's tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to this bright and sunny day. I'm Liana Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, it was absolute shock yesterday morning after it was reported that a 25-year-old woman was charged with the double murder at the Robin Hood pub and restaurant. Quiana Butterfield appeared in magistrate's court accused of murders of 27-year-old Ayinde Eve and 22-year-old Micah Davis. Now, she was also charged with the attempted murders of Troy Eve Burgess and policeman Derek Golding. Miss Butterfield, who is said to be from St. George's, was not required to enter a plea because the matters must be tried in the Supreme Court. Now, the court heard that other suspects were believed to have been involved in the incident, which was alleged to have happened on October 26th in Pembroke, but had not yet come before the courts. Magistrate Maxanne Anderson remanded Miss Butterfield in custody and adjourned her case until the next Supreme Court arraignment session on December 1st. Meanwhile, roughly 25 public school custodians walked off the job for reasons relating to lack of overtime pay. Now, it is understood that the group made their way over to the BIU headquarters yesterday morning, where apparently the action came after custodians stopped work last Monday and Tuesday. Now, BIU Representative Arnold Smith for the custodians is said to be meeting to address the concerns. Social Justice Bermuda has called for disciplinary action after it was found that a police officer was the one who posted CCTV footage of last Wednesday's fatal road traffic accident, which claimed the life of Jatino Richardson Martin on social media. Acting Commissioner of Police Darren Simons confirmed that a police officer had indeed posted the footage. Now, the group say that they are enraged, dismayed, and disgusted by the officer's actions and that they violated their professional and moral obligations. They went on to call for the officer to be relieved of their position and that the Bermuda Police Service needs to undergo a serious reform. And the Bermuda under-20 football team continued their winning streak last night, defeating St. Vincent and the Grenadines 3-0 as part of the CONCACAF under-20 championship. Now, the match saw footballers Jazir Warner, Sincere Hall, and Stephen Jones all scoring goals, sailing Bermuda to the second consecutive victory in a span of 3 days. Now, the team have one last game to play, and they will have made it through to the next round. Meanwhile, Bermuda fell 23 runs short during their first match in their ICC Men's T20 World Cup America's regional qualifiers at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium against the United States in Antigua last night. The U.S. scored 172 all out, while our team managed 149 for 8. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 77 and a low near 69 degrees. We'll see cloudy periods with blustery showers today. Winds are westerly strong with higher gusts, especially near showers, veering northwesterly in the afternoon. Now, tonight's skies will improve after a chance of an early evening shower. A cooler northerly and drying breeze begins to set in as high pressure builds to our west. That's all for the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. Drinking warm water regularly helps to break down fat deposits, enhances blood flow, improves oxygen circulation, rejuvenates the skin, and helps eliminate waste products from the digestive system more effectively. Speak with your trusted People's Pharmacist about other easy and simple digestion aids. Now let's hack back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
All right, Lee, you gave us some good news. We've got some good news. I mean,
yeah, our national teams are doing all right. Like, again, kudos to our football team. I know our cricket team are going to get it together. They do have a few more games to play. So, we're going to keep the eye on them and see what they produce.
See, absolutely. So, folks, it's some good things happening. And boy, do we need some good in the world right now, especially close to home. Lee, thanks so much for that. And we will see you on Friday tomorrow.
What? I don't know what day it is.
We'll see you tomorrow.
tomorrow for the real hump day. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah. Have a good day.
See you guys later.
All right, Jackie out there confusing everybody today, folks. So I got a message. So Nachika Trot had asked, with the language used during the game, were any rules of regulation broken? Well, as someone said to me, you can get it is a yellow or red card offense to use foul language, during the game, period, before the game or after. As far as foul language is foul language, but I cannot think of an incident where a coach was given a card for using foul language as a way of encouraging their players.
Right.
So that's where I was coming from as far as that. But thanks to the audience who are afraid to comment, but will send use other methods to communicate. We have Antonia Holder coming right up. Good conversation with good people doing what they do with mothers and daughters empowered. So do not go anywhere. We're going to play a quick commercial and be right back. Stick with us.
This month, we're bringing back an old favorite distributed by John Barrett & Son Limited, a thirst-quenching European treat, Orangina, made from orange, lemon, mandarin, and grapefruit juices. Orangina brings us the flavor of the Mediterranean in a distinctive pear-shaped bottle. Orangina originated in France in the early 1930s and is now one of the world's favorites, a natural thirst quencher containing real fruit pulp. In fact, the makers of Orangina recommend we gently shake the pulp to enjoy the full fruity flavor. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the Big Show. Sherry Vanderpool, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day. We have Antonia Holder coming from Mothers and Daughters Empowered. Welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hello, Jamal. Hello, Sherry. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. So it's been a while. I think it was January when you were last on.
It was January, yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
We were going to have you on sooner, but then, the world, the way it works, and things got pushed back, but we are happy to have you back. For those who don't know, though, what exactly, share a bit of background about what Mothers and Daughters Empowered is, how did it begin, and what the purpose of the organization is.
Okay. Well, I don't have much time, so I'll try to keep it, as short as I possibly can to get all of those questions in. How did it start? It started out of a place of a bit of pain, frustration with life, and a lot of introspective work. I lost my mom when I was 12, unfortunately, to an avoidable road traffic accident. And I had to do a lot of healing that I didn't get to do as a girl growing up. And so out of that sort of birthed this desire to impact my community in a way that was authentic to me. Like, how can I serve my community? What can I do? I really wasn't happy with my 9 to 5. I didn't feel fulfilled. And then I had this idea to host. It was first, my original idea was a panel discussion for adolescent age girls. Now, doesn't that just sound terrible? It was a terrible idea for 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds to sit through somebody just talking at them. And so I started to explore the idea a bit more. And, when you're in the flow of an idea and all your sort of tactics and objective kind of just flow and come together. So in one afternoon, it just hit me. And I was like, how can I provide like a holistic view on the mother-daughter relationship, not just what it's about, but how we can be intentional at strengthening the relationship. And so at that point, I was like, I'm going to have a psychologist, I'm going to have a nutritionist, I'm going to have these fun activities, and it's all going to come together in an afternoon of bonding. No distractions, no interruptions, just time to commit to the mother-daughter relationship. And that's how the tea was born, actually. And so it is my signature experience that I have annually.
Awesome. Well,
Thank
that
you.
was great in a nutshell. I will say it's in its third year. And so when is it and how has it evolved over the years? I know you said you started with just the panel and now you've gotten into different things. Tell us a little bit more in depth about those different entities that are in the tea.
Sure. Okay. So first of all, I always kind of consider what I needed as the 12-year-old me. And then because I have developed a relationship with a lot of members of my community, I would receive feedback from them as to the sort of activities that they would like to do with their daughter, as well as with the girls, like what sort of activities they would like to do with the mom. And then I think about like the prevalent topics that are facing the age range. So confidence is a major challenge. You know, at the age of 8, a girl's confidence level drops dramatically, and that's 8 years old. Like you're not even in high school yet. You know, the mean girl, which is actually social aggression, right? The mean girl sort of stigma that all girls are catty, right? And that, you know, we're out to get each other. That's happening at a lot younger age. I think it's always happened sort of around that pre-teen, the tween age. But now we're talking about it a lot more. So it's helping us to tackle these mindsets that have been sort of just allowed and not really worked on at the home level or, you know, in the whole social spectrum. Another massive challenge that the girls face is emotions and anxiety and what that means in relation to the world, their environment around them, not just school, not just in the home, romantic feelings that are new and they may not understand what to deal with them. And then you have, you know, the physiological changes that are happening that are just like skyrocketing all of these components in their life. And if we don't help them understand what's going on and deal with them, then that's where, you know, it becomes a challenge for them to, you know, interact with others, to find themselves, because it's all about self-exploration at that age too. They're trying to determine what their true identity is. And then they don't want to be with mom so much, right? There comes a point where mom is everything to them and they want to be all up under her. And then, you know, they start to develop and grow. And then it's like, okay, I don't need you to kiss me in public anymore. Fall back. You know, I don't need you to fight my battles for me anymore. I don't talk to her on my behalf. You know, don't dress me. I can feed myself, like all of these things that's sort of happening. But it's so many different components that get the girls to that point. And so with the tea, I have maintained certain pillars. And so the last year's tea included a self-love incubator, which was just for the girls, and the purple table talk, which is just for the moms, and 2 bonding activities. And the activities were centered around arts. So it was called Artistic Whisper, and they painted what I called like a generational love masterpiece, which I hope they have hung on their walls. If any of the listeners attended and they painted their canvas, will you let us know if you have it up or not? The other activity at that time was about wellness. And it was, I had a nutritionist come in who was also a fitness coach, and she helped to go through the importance of exercising and things that you can do together. And so that's really like the framework. But out of last year's tea, which was the first public tea, my very first tea was a pilot event. You know, I want to make sure that it works, you know, what the feedback would be and how can I improve it. And so the same thing with last year's tea, which happened just before the pandemic. right? So
Wow.
it got in there right on time. And, I am so humbled and blessed to be able to say it was a sold out event. That feels good for those who put on events, right? Because it proves that there was genuine interest. And I've kind of strayed away from that. Oh, everything I do has got to be, sold out. No, I believe that those who attend are meant to be there, and they will receive whatever it is that they are meant to receive, as long as I do my part, right? And
Absolutely.
so with this year's tea on the 21st, now we've just come off of an outbreak, and it was supposed to be in October, but I pushed it back because I wanted to make sure it was enough time between the outbreak and allowing moms and their daughters to feel comfortable being in group spaces. But with an event like this, I did receive my approval for a large group exemption. I have all
Awesome.
I have all the COVID protocols to follow that will be put in place, and it is a safe key event.
Safety. I was just going to say safety.
It is a safe key event, and I know that's people have a lot of opinions on that.
Exactly.
But and I'm not here to tell you if you should be vaccinated or not. Like, I am not in that. But if you would like to attend, you must get a test within the 3-day window and present your safe key. And the bottom line is, it's meant to help us stay safe, right? We want to make sure
Exactly.
that we provide an experience that is high quality and low risk as much as possible, right?
When you talk
So,
about that experience, I have to interject and say that, I see your facilitators, and my girl, Dr. Sandy De Silva, is on
yes,
that panel. She is the truth, right? Tell us
yes.
more about the other facilitators, as well as more about who has never experienced Dr. De Silva. What are they gonna get out of them during this tea?
Okay. First of all, I just, I want to shout out Dr. De Silva as well, because she has been with me from day one, guys. She has been like my biggest supporter, my sounding board, my mentor, my own psychologist. Like, she has been there for me through this whole thing. And I'm just so blessed and honored to have her as a part of the team. So naturally, this year, Purple Table Talk will be a staple in the team moving forward, because it is so important for our moms to come together with their peers who are going through some of the same challenges, or who have overcome the challenges that moms are now experiencing, and they can talk about it. One mom last year had said the Purple Table Talk was the best part of the experience. I mean, she did say she enjoyed the time with her daughter, of course, but sometimes moms don't really get out there, especially if they're introverts, to be able to, express some challenges that they're having. They don't want to sound vulnerable or whatever the case may be. But Dr. De Silva is our facilitator for Purple Table Talk. And with her background, she's the executive director at the Family Center. She has, she has 20 plus years experience.
Yeah.
She's seen it all. She's worked with families, who are in great standing, and those who, have their own challenges, as we all do. And so she is going to help the moms go through some of the topics that are relevant to the parenting stage that they're in. And the theme for this year's Purple Table Talk is resilience. COVID did a number on all of us. And can I just pause right here and shout out all the teachers, because just thank you. I know we went through that last year, but still, just thank you, teachers. Thank you. And so, Dr. De Silva is going to go through kind of like a mini workshop. One of the points of feedback that I received from last year was that almost everybody said the sessions were too short. And they were 40-minute sessions. So this year they're going to be 1 hour each. And I know that's not much time, but it's enough time to, really make an impactful workshop. And so Dr. De Silva is going to be facilitating that. Another component of the tea is the girls only session. And my purpose for that is, just like the moms, something happens when we are in a room together and we can talk about those common successes and challenges. And the girls only session this year is called the Leadership Incubator. Last year was the Self-Love Incubator. And that is going to be facilitated by Malika Taylor. Malika is a phenomenal mother. She's a phenomenal executive at Expertise, and she is heavily involved in the We Speak organization. And she's going to help, just plant the seeds in the girls of the qualities and attributes of what a leader should be. And, leadership is not just about leading others. It's also about leading self. And we need a level of awareness to do that. It's also about courage, confidence, and apathy. Like, these are all things that the activities are going to be centered around with the girls only session. And then next up, we have 2 activities for the mother-daughter bonding. And keep in mind, the purpose of this whole afternoon is to offer an opportunity for intentional bonding. And I know a lot of moms might be saying, I just spent 6 weeks of my kids at home. I don't need to take them out anywhere. We've been together all this time. I feel that. But also, when you shift your mindset to a place of intentionality, right, with a potential goal, and the goal can merely be just to spend time with each other without thinking about all the other stresses of life,
Exactly.
right? Being in the home could have been a source of stress, especially during the work from home, teach from home time. And taking, you and your daughter out of that environment can offer a chance for you to open up, and talk about things that you might not have talked about at home.
Yeah. And so I was just going to say, in regards to all of that, 2 things. Where can everybody sign up and find your event? And is it only for mothers and daughters? Meaning, if you're a godmother, if you're an aunt, and you have that kind of relationship with your niece or your goddaughter, are those relationships also acceptable in this space?
Absolutely. I just want to always make sure that whatever the relationship is, aunt, niece, mentor, mentee, grandma, granddaughter, that the discussion is had beforehand with the daughter, because you don't want to get into the space, not have talked about it, and then it's a trigger for the daughter, right? And at this age, we don't really know what our triggers are, especially if there's been significant trauma or if there's been mother loss, right? And so it is definitely open to those dynamics, but again, the conversation needs to be had. And tickets are available on my website, which is mndempowered.com. And they are $165 for a duo and $190 for a trio. And because of the COVID protocols, we are not having a buffet. We're not having any sort of activities that will require like a lineup, so to speak. And so we have a partner with a local caterer. Have you heard of PSSST? She's also a soror of mine, Kara. She is doing some gourmet lunch boxes for us. So if you think about traditional tea and what that means, the feedback from last year was not all the girls like the traditional tea. So I've included some fun sandwiches like peanut butter and jelly and fried chicken sandwiches and a mix of things. And so there are 3 different tea box options for you to choose this year. And you will do that upon checkout. And I'm sure we're running out of time, but I have to get to the 2 other sessions. How much time do I have?
Come on, just let it roll.
Okay.
Let it roll.
Okay, so the 2 sessions for mom and daughter, the one is called the Mindfulness Studio, right? And so last year we had the Wellness Studio. So this year we're taking a slightly different approach. It's still overall wellness. And that is being facilitated by Kim Rigo, who really introduced the mindfulness state of mind to Bermuda. And she has been teaching in the school system for years now. And mindfulness is, it's basically our ability to be aware of everything around us, aware of our thoughts, aware of how we respond, slowing down, and it can be learned, right? And so she's going to go through some tactics with mom and daughter to try and incorporate mindfulness practices into their relationship. It also provides like calmness and clarity. And essentially, mindfulness is about being present. And that's what I teach. I teach presence over perfection, because as moms, we want to try and make sure that we have it all together. We do it all, we check all the boxes. And then at the end of the day, we're burnt out and in bed by 8 o'clock, right? And so she's going to talk to us about mindfulness. And then we have the beauty whispers session. So a lot of the girls at this age are interested in exploring makeup. And, with the hormones, they get the puberty spots. And there's a lot that goes into it. Like, what type of skincare do you have? What products are suitable for you? Do you have any sensitivities? And then also the stigma on makeup. Personally, I think makeup is totally fine. We have to teach our girls from a young age the healthy makeup habits. It's not to fix you, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's merely to help you. And right, that when we put on a little mascara, I've got my MAC lipstick on right now, you have a level of swag and confidence, right? Our girls feel that same way, but we just need to shepherd them and guide them through the idea of what it means to have on makeup. And our sponsors for that session are MAC Cosmetics and Gibbons. And they are going to be teaching the girls how to apply makeup, basic level of makeup, with some really cool face charts, because, you go into the makeup studios and they use just kind of like these regular face charts. Well, we found some really fun face charts for the girls. So there's going to be demonstration just on someone, not on the girls. They'll have their face chart. And MAC is also sponsoring their own beginner makeup palettes. So that's exciting. All the girls will have their own palettes. And you can purchase a brush set upon checkout when you get your ticket, if you wish as well. And so those are the 4 pillars of the experience. It's from 1 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. It may sound long saying that, but when you're in it and you're moving from session to session, and we have our breaks, and Power Girl is our MC. Thank you to Power Girl.
Yes,
her second year. And she brings a level of fun and energy, right? And then I infuse my personal mother-daughter bonding tactics into everything. And so, this team was created to provide sort of like this holistic approach to
let me just cut you off because I don't want to ignore the audience. I don't want to ignore the audience. If you have questions or comments for Antonia, folks, I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Terry K is asking, I might have missed it, so excuse me if this is a redundant question. Is there a minimum age or limit to the daughters who can attend?
Yeah, so the age limit is from 10 to 14-year-olds. And here's why. Oh, sorry, I have a kitty and she just, don't knock over the camera. Sorry. So 10 to 14, adolescent age. We did have a 9-year-old and even an 8-year-old attend last year. But here's the thing with that. I'm all for it. Mom knows the maturity level of your daughter. Right? Based on the content, if you believe she is in a stage where she needs to get some of this information, then by all means bring her. But if she's not there yet, then, respect the age level. Same with the, 15, 16-year-old. I had a 16-year-old last year. And it doesn't mean that, the 16-year-old is looking at babyfied, if you will, because she's 16. It all depends on the maturity level. The content we have is, great for this age range and even beyond. So think about it and, you can decide, but 10 to 14.
All right. Karen Simmons says, intentional bonding is extremely important for relationships. My daughter is now 20 and we continue to nurture our intentional bonding experiences and adventures. And Terry K is looking forward to the experience. Shout out to Antonia for creating these spaces. So look, real quickly, I know you did it already, but just remind people of how they can follow you on social media and get in touch to learn more.
Yes. So the website is, and the social media handle is MND Empowered, MND Empowered. And then the website is mndempowered.com.
Oh, it's that easy.
Yes.
It's that easy.
Can I say one more thing? It's almost 9 o'clock. Do not, cut me off. But really quick, I must thank, I'm just making sure I quote everybody. And, the MAC session is presented by Tressa Townsell and Shivani Seth. Shivani is actually an image consultant too. So, that's kind of like a 3-for-1 right there. And then I want to shout out my sponsors because, event planning in Bermuda
we appreciate your sponsors, but we're trying to have our sponsors.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
1 to 4 seems very short, just so you know. So, because it sounds like it's going to be a great event.
Okay.
Yes, and we'll again, we have Liana. So any information that you want to share throughout our news break as it comes up, just reach out to us and we'll get it on for you. All right.
Thank you so much, guys. It was great. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, you too. Thanks again so much to Antonia Holder for Mothers and Daughters Empowered. Folks, make sure you go check her out. Mother and MND Empowered. Make sure you check them out. I love what she's doing. We've got to take a break before I get in trouble, and we'll be right back to wrap it up and with the Daily Play. Do not go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security. There's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right. Thanks again to Antonia Holder, Mothers, Daughters, and Daughters Empowered. If you appreciated that conversation, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you go check her out, doing some good things. Thanks again to Medical House One Communications, People's Pharmacy, and Linda's for ensuring that we're able to do this for you. Time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Help her out, folks. She certainly need help with this. This is very easy. Sherry, are you ready?
Come on, Jamal. Play music. Give me a question. Let's go.
All right. Very easy one. What year did Bermuda's men's national football team qualify for the World Cup?
Really, Jamal? Like that's easy? It is, but I don't follow all of that. So one more time. What year? National Cup? 20.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am. 2018, 2019, 2020.
I'm going to read the question one more time.
What year did they qualify for the National Cup?
The question is, what year did Bermuda's men's national football team qualify for the World Cup?
For the World Cup. Oh, that's like every 4 years, right? Or something. So 2018, 2016. Was I right in the time difference? Is it 4 years or 6 years? Look, sports ain't my thing. Wait. 2014. 2018 or 2021. One of the two. Those are my answers. 1996.
It is not. 1967. It is not. 2019. It is not.
Okay. See, I'm not the only one. That's about 4 people. It's not just me.
Well, I said it was a trick question from the beginning. Bermuda's men's national football team has never. Okay. Well, but was I right in my timing? Like I was like, okay, 2014, it's every 4 years, right? It's every 4 years.
Okay, so I got a half a point. I knew in 2014 that they had a World Cup, so I knew it was 2018, whatever the case may be. So I still got a half a point for even understand the concept of World Cup. But no, Bermuda has never qualified for it.
Half a point.
Jamal, this is when the coach comes in to continue to encourage. Poor Sherry. Nicole, that's offensive to me.
You know what? Let's okay. Thoughts on today's show.
But 4 other people didn't get it either.
Wow.
But I say for coaches and for people to know your players, know how to encourage them in that sense. You know what I mean? So if it means however you choose to speak to them and they respond to it, then that would be it. As far as it with Antonia, great concept. I love the whole made empowerment tea and what it represents and the bonding that young ladies and mothers need to continue to have. So I say definitely go out and support that.
Yeah, for sure. I back to the coaching part. I think everyone has different methods. Everyone's methods are going to be different. I think it really comes down to how the players respond to the coach. If it doesn't work, then you look into it. If it doesn't fit the culture of what those who are above the coach want, then they deal with it as well. So I think it was definitely a worthy conversation. As far as Antonia, I love what she's doing. I love the intentional bonding. And I wish her all the continued success and all the best in doing what she's doing. Any daily inspiration for her sister?
Yes.
She's rattled, folks.
No, I'm not. I'm all right. Optimism is a happiness magnet. If you stay positive, good things and good people will be drawn to you. Mary Lou Retton, who was a gymnast.
Oh, I love that one. Thanks again to our partners, Protocols, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great day. And once again, congrats to our friends over there on Good Day Bermuda. 100
Yes.
episodes, not out. Peace.